Hi, Sagittarians. This is Kerri Mubarak at wooingnature.life. I hope you are having a pleasant day, evening, night, wherever you are. This is your reading for June 2019. I hope you're ready. There's been some very interesting things happening. So, this month, what I decided to do is just kind of pay attention to everyone's lunar cycle. So, I'm looking at the new moon at the beginning of the month and the full moon toward the middle for all the signs. Just tend to do that intuitively. When I go to look at the readings, I just kind of let let the stars tell me what to look at, so to speak. And so for this month, I will be paying close attention to the moon and to look at our lunar energy, and seeing how the moon is moving with us. Gotta try to stay in the flow right now. There's a lot of changes afoot elsewhere in the astrological world, so we just want to make sure that everybody is in their flow, that everybody is in synchronicity with whatever is going on, that you're able to kind of relax and lean back and kind of float a little bit. And the best way to do that is to get in touch with your lunar, okay? Because the lunar moves the water. So Sagittarius, we're going to take a look at that. We're going to look at your lunar astrology. And then after that, I am going to be working from the I Ching, Klaus Holitzka's I Ching, to be exact. There's a little glare there. Sorry about that. I will be doing an art of the deck on this deck because I absolutely love what they did with this. Very simple. It ties right in with the culture from which the I Ching comes, the use of calligraphy, the use of ink. It's a beautiful deck, and I absolutely love it. Traditionally, the I Ching was done with yarrow sticks, the counting of yarrow sticks, and then it moved on to the three coins, which a lot of people are most familiar with. But things evolve. At one point, I said, "Oh, I would never use I Ching cards because I do Yarrow and I also do the coin method." But I was like, what would I do with the cards? But then I fell in love with this deck because of the images and because of the artwork, and found it to be a very useful tool for divination. It's very useful. Does it works differently, but the result is very good. It works. So I will be reading from the I Ching cards today, and then also touching on your lunar astrology, and then we'll tie it all together, and hopefully you have a nice little package that you can walk through June with, as we are in this Gemini season, which is also one of the other reasons I decided to work with this I Ching deck, because it requires the pulling of just two cards, and Gemini is just two people. So I don't know. Just wanted to get in the sync with the season as well. But this is for you, Sagittarians, and I'm going to jump right in. So the seventh house and the first house are being activated by the moon for you. The major moon changes. Okay. So at the beginning of the month, the seventh house, which is where you have your marriages, contractual agreements of any kind, partnerships, you and a significant other. It could be a wife, it could be a husband, it could be a business partner, but whoever you are committed to in a relationship is where the moon is moving. Now, the moon itself in degree is really asking for us to step away from the ego. So you can kind of imagine where this goes when you're dealing with your partner that you're in a commitment with, because there's compromise that is required when you're doing that. And in order to compromise, you have to acquiesce. Sometimes you have to give a little to get a little. And so the moon is saying, hey, listen to other people, pay attention to what they're talking about. Don't always let it be about you. So if you're in conflict in marriage, or if you're in conflict with your business partner, or with somebody else that you are deeply committed to, then you definitely want to kind of pay attention to that. There may be some skirmishes there that test your wills and test your egos. Don't fall for that. don't go for it, because now is not the time. It is really not about you, and the same is for the other person. I'm not just saying it for you, Sagittarius, but this is true across the board for just about every zodiac sign that I have read so far. It is not about you this month. The moon wants us to step away from that. So communication is is of utmost importance to you at this time. It's going to help you differentiate what you're thinking from what you're feeling, from the crap, and you'll be able to differentiate between the stuff that really doesn't make any sense to you, or that isn't worth a hill of beans, so to speak. Excuse me. And then you'll also be able to know when you're being overly sensitive as well, or when somebody else is being overly sensitive. So remember that somewhere in the midst of the conversation, there's going to be some little tidbit of information that's going to push both of you toward a greater degree of self-development, a greater degree of maturity, all of that. Okay? Don't miss out on the benefits just because you want to win the conversation, or just because you want to be the person with the right answer. Not important at this time. So as we get into the full moon period in the middle of the month, you're going to see how the effort supports you, and you'll be able to reach your own personal mission as well. So it's almost like if you take a step back from off of what you off your personal agenda, then you end up kind of getting what you want in the end. Okay, it ends up kind of tying into all of that. All right, so Sagittarians, that's kind of what's happening with the lunar cycle. If you want to know more about what's happening with the new moon and the full moon, you can check back into this channel where I do the new moon view and the full moon view, and then I also do the new moon and the full moon view for your zodiac's element. So Sagittarians, you are fire signs. I'll do them for water sign, fire sign, water sign, earth sign, and air signs for the new moon and the full moon view. So if you want to know a little bit more about what's going on with the moon during that time, you can check back in on this channel, and I'll have that information for you. All right, so while I've been running my mouth, I've been shuffling these cards for the I Ching. Like I said, this particular deck and the way that the divination is handled in this deck is a pulling of two cards. The first card represents the message, and then the second card will represent the changing lines. So I've got passage number 2 and number 32. Number 2 is going to be the one that will read with the message, and then 32 will represent the changing lines, and then we'll read the passages that go with the changing lines, and that'll give you a little bit deeper connection there. Okay, so some of this may resonate with some of you. All of it may resonate with some of you. It may be one line that really means something to you and another that doesn't. The thing about the I Ching readings is just to sort of let the information wash over you, so to speak, and the things that jump out at you is the message. It's what you need to hear, so to speak. All right, so here we are on number 2. Number 2, the number of duality. Thank you very much for your input, Gemini season. All right, number 2, acceptance is the passage, and it reads, this sign stands for the receptive and dedicated force of nature. Nature brings forth all creatures, bringing good as well as evil, whilst preserving in equal portions the balance of give and take. There we go again. Try to understand this law of nature, integrate it into your life, and act in accordance with it. So, let me read the whole thing, and then we'll talk about it. Accept your destiny joyously. This will strengthen your life force and reaffirm your character, but you must also conform to the community. In the midst of all this activity, you should not forget to put your own life in order. Create space for yourself in order to take stock and be able to contemplate a future course in life. Luck will be on your side if you successfully marry dynamic strength with dedication and sensitivity. So what kind of jumped out for me is um, the balance, again, the give and take, understanding the law of nature and integrating it into your life, being in accordance with it, being in the flow, allowing yourself to be a part of whatever is happening. If you are, again, if you're having some kind of difficulty with a partner or with a friend, that you're these house 7 is like committed relationships, contractual relationships, marriages, people that you're fully committed to is what I'm going to say, or things that you may be fully committed to. Um, so it talks a little bit about the conforming. I thought that was very interesting. Um, and that can sometimes feel difficult for Sagittarians, because Sagittarians is like, I gotta go do my own thing. So this may be, this may, cause you to feel like you're kind of in a box a little bit. But again, like I said, toward the middle of the month when the full moon comes in, you're going to see how everything kind of comes back around to what it is that you're trying to achieve in the first place. So it's like if you give a little, you get a little in the end. All right, so I'm going to jump to the changing lines, and just to explain how Holitska does its thing. This is the original card that we pull, number 2. And then what we do is just examine each line to see if there is a change in the line. So this is a broken line, this is a broken line. So that's no change, right? Then in the second line, we have a change from a broken line or a yin line to a yang line. And the third one, we have a change from a yin line or a broken line to a solid line, which is a yang line. So 2 and 3 are changes. 4 is a change. And then 5 and 6 are not. So 2, 3, and 4 is really where the changes happen. So we're going to read 2, 3, and 4, lines 2, 3, and 4 from this passage, and that then gives you a little bit more. It kind of fine tunes the story for you. 2, 3, and 4. Number 2, nature tolerates all creatures, and this is where its greatness and power lies. Now, I used to tell my kids all the time, everyone deserves to be here. So in that moment, when your partner is really on your nerves, just remind yourself that nature tolerates all creatures. Yes, it does. All right, line 3, concentrate on your daily task instead of seeking worldly fame. Your talents will develop sublimely and gradually gain recognition. Remember I said kind of give a little and then like lean off of it? So it sounds like Sagittarians, you all have some goals out there for yourself. Some high-minded goals at that. So don't worry about that part yet. Just let the thing, lean it back, and then let the universe bring it on back to you. Line 4. Am I doing that right? Yeah, 2, 3, and 4. Number 4. A hazardous time. Take care to measure your strength. Whether you act alone or with others is up to you. Avoid confrontation. Interesting there. So don't be confrontational with your partner, okay, at the beginning of the month. Listen more than you talk. Be willing to compromise. Do the hard work at the beginning so that when you get back at the end of the month, you're feeling a lot more like things are going like how you want them to go. Okay? Sagittarians. Love you guys. You guys are so energetic and all kinds of stuff. All right? So communicate with your partner. Communicate what it is that you want, and that you communicate what it is you want and desire from the partnership and the relationship. Don't be like mum's the word. It's just saying don't be so attached to the outcome being your outcome. That's the point that's being made here. So, just want to let you know, if you want to reach out to me to get your own personal reading, if you want to go a little more in depth, if you have other questions that you would like to do an I Ching reading around, or if you want to get more in depth into your own astrology, if you want to check out what the moon is doing specifically for your chart, You can do that. You reach out to me at Kerri, Kerri, at wooingnature.life, and I'll be glad to take care of that for you. If you do want an astrological chart, you'll need your birth time, birth location, and your birth date, of course, and we can make that happen if we want it to be very, very accurate, and we do want it to be as accurate as possible. Also, if you want to know more about what's happening with the moon, you can check right in with this channel, and probably in the next few days or so, I will be posting the new moon view, and then in the middle of the month, around the 17th, 18th, I believe it is, I'll be posting the full moon view, general and for your signs elements. So Sagittarians, you all being the fire signs, like I said, I'll be letting you know what's going on with the moon and your the people that are a part of your fire sign element. So that's that. I hope you guys have a great month of June. I hope you enjoy it. Take in the sun, enjoy the weather, get outside, connect with nature. That's what it's all about. All right, take care. Hope you have a great June.